Hi, I'm Suffer Jerome. Thanks for stopping by. Today I was listening to a few YouTube videos. I have my favorite people I listen to, and then I listen to other people as well. And, puttering around the place, tidying up. I just moved a few months ago, so I'm still packing and unpacking and figuring out where everything's going in my new place. And, so I was going to make a video anyways about my hopes and dreams for episode 9, but now there seems to be a whole bunch of leaking going on. And, it could be trolls, could be real, could be fake. We'll never know. We won't know till we see the episode 9. But anyways, so my hopes and dreams for episode 9, I think we already know, is that we realize Luke didn't die at all. And I'm hoping with all the fan backlash about killing him that J.J. Abrams will make it that, he just disappeared for a while, got recharged in the light, and then came back. And he's good to go. And he's like, yeah, I tricked you, haha, with his quirky Luke Mark Hamill sense of humor. Because, Star Wars is a comedy now anyways, right? So that's my biggest hope and dream, is that Luke isn't dead. But of course, I doubt I will have that dream manifested. Another hope I have, a new hope, is that Mary Sue is finally deciphered. We finally find out who Rey really is and why she's so amazing. Because don't forget, The Last Jedi was only chapter 2 of a 3-part story. And even though, they're kind of screwing around with us a bit, sometimes I think the reason why Rian Johnson looks so smug is because he already knows that we're going to find out all the answers we've been waiting for. It's just he had to play devil's advocate and stir us all up with The Last Jedi. And this is my big hope. And I had actually thought this at the time, too, when I first saw The Last Jedi, that he's like, yeah, I'm just messing with your minds a bit. And then episode 9, it's all going to be okay. So we'll see. Because, that keeps us talking about it, right? Although it may have gone too far the other way. If that's what they were doing, it has gone too far the other way, because there are a lot of people who are so angry that they're boycotting all Disney and Star Wars for the rest of their lives, or so they say. Whereas me, like I've said before, there are lots about The Last Jedi that I loved, and some of it not so much, but only because I love Luke and I want Luke to be my dude, at least until episode 9. I was mentally prepared for him to die in episode 9, not in episode 8. So I hope that there's some way he comes back and hangs out with us for an episode where he's not a ghost and where he can actually do some real physical in real life stuff. And like I said, I'm hoping that we find more about Rey, why she can do what she does, and have some answers with her too, which I really think we will, because if you go back to where she finds the lightsaber in the box, and all that stuff, there's a lot more for us to know and understand. I've been hearing rumors now, and they may or may not be true, so listen or don't listen. That the other day they were talking about, there's a lot of scuttlebutt about casting for Mara Jade or whatever. I personally think they're casting for Princess Leia, because it's that age. And, yeah, it's my phone. BB, 8 degrees. I think they're casting for Carrie Fisher's role, Princess Leia, for a few bits. Probably not big, huge bits, but, enough to carry the story a little more. So, that's my theory. Now I've heard some theory about Kylo and Rey actually being romantically involved, even though they're running separate communities or what, like Rey's running her Jedi Academy or whatever, and Kylo's running the galaxy, and yet they still secretly talk because they're in love. Yet Rey has a secret love child, which isn't Kylo's, I guess. So I don't know, Rey's getting around. Yeah, and who's that? Is it Finn's? That would make sense to me if she and Finn had something going on there, because they had such good chemistry and really seemed connected in The Force Awakens. That all went to hell in The Last Jedi, but, it could all come back. Because, this is part of the fun, the theories, the puzzles. I know I've said I'm going to stop playing the theory game, but now I'm back. I can't help it. I'm a writer, and the mind's always going. And, yeah, so for episode 9, my biggest things are the Force goes back to being the Force, so you have to train to use it. Luke is not dead. Kylo becomes the biggest badass of the galaxy, just like his grandfather. Like, I want him to be total evil, total jerk, total, none of this. Oh, I'm in love with Rey. No. He can fall in love with someone else, sure, but the whole Rey Kylo thing, that's just horrible. I hate it. I've always hated it. I also think they're related anyway, so it'd just be creepy. And I hope Finn's character is resurrected as a proper Finn character, not whatever the heck was going on in The Last Jedi. I hope Poe's back to being a proper pilot and not whatever the heck was going on in The Last Jedi. Yeah, we need a really big evil person and a really good person. We need some more black and white, not all this gray that chapter 2 gave us, but it is the second part of a 3-part story, so you do expect a little bit of mixing it up a bit, so that we can all get angry or have theories or whatever going into chapter 3. However, I've said it before, I said it on my blog, I've said it on YouTube, that I don't have a lot of enthusiasm to go see chapter 9 like I did with chapter 8. I was excited to go to chapter 7 to see The Force Awakens because I thought I'd see Luke Skywalker again, and I was ready to watch him kick butt, and I was hoping he and Leia and Han all had like a mission to go on, and we saw how that went. So then I got my hopes up for The Last Jedi, that we'll finally see Luke Skywalker kicking some butt. and Leia would be there. Maybe they'd do some flashback. I don't know, because I know Harrison Ford's out of the game, but there could be a monetary. Disney's got deep pockets. They could probably entice Harrison Ford to reprise for a moment or two in a flashback or something, right? Because we still don't really know. Those of us that don't sit and read all the books and everything. When I was a teenager, I read the books. And that's why I was so confused when I went to see The Empire Strikes Back. Because I'd seen read Splinters of the Mind Eye, and my brain just hurt. Because I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? But I was also like very young, like teenager. So I'm starting to get a little bit excited for episode 9, but I'll never be excited again as I was for episode 8, because the disappointment was just too huge. It was too devastating to look forward so much to something and to be as disappointed as I was. Like I said, I didn't hate The Last Jedi, but the parts that I had really hoped to see or understand, which is basically just seeing my Luke Skywalker being Luke Skywalker, ultimate Jedi Master, to see him, really being powerful, I was very disappointed. And, I saw some video there, Luke's just old, so that's why he had to run around being old and all that. It's like, Yoda was like 800 years old before he died. Luke's only like 50. Luke's like my age in the movies, because now the movies are a few years old, so now I am pretty much the age Luke wandering around on that island is. And I don't think I look like a crusty old, get off my lawn, get off my cloud, get off my island. No, let's raise that X-ring from the ocean and go do some battles. So I don't mind Rey having a secret love child, and maybe it would be kind of cool if it was Kylo's, but I don't know. It's just, yeah. I just want a good movie. And I also just want to quickly say too, people talk about how Star Wars changed their life and all that stuff, and certainly for me, when I was 15 and saw the first one and saw it 28 times that first year, because Luke really spoke to me and inspired me, and I went on to do a little bit of fan fiction and stuff, because I am a writer and have been a writer. I am a professional writer, and that's what I do. That's my job. But when The Force Awakens came out, it really spoke to me. The idea, when I heard Disney buying Star Wars again, it really spoke to me, because I'd been through some really terrible times in my personal life, and that Star Wars was being rebooted. It sort of awakened in me, The Force Awakens, and I've blogged about this too, that it brought me out of my deep depression, and I got that childlike excitement again about, oh, what's gonna happen? Luke Skywalker's, swords in space, magicians in space, and space pirates, space wizards, and all the things, and so it got me, perked me up. I felt better about my life and about a lot of things, and so I probably got too invested in the series, forgetting that it is just people like me running the show, and they're just going to do whatever the hell they want. It'd be nice if they'd listen to the fans a little more, and perhaps they have listened to fans, and perhaps a lot of the fans, and I do know for sure a lot of the fans love The Last Jedi, and that's fantastic. Like I said, I don't hate it, I just am disappointed with Luke. And we did not need Canto Blight at all. That was just bad. And Finn should have... Anyways, now I'm just going to go back over the same old thing. But so, for episode 9, I'm going to cautiously be excited for it, because I think that they have been listening, maybe. I think. Because, there's... I know for me, and I know a lot of it has to do with logarithms and stuff, but I can't go on YouTube without seeing people freaking out about The Last Jedi. I didn't see this for The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens, there were a lot of, parodies and jokes and theories, tons of theories, but I didn't see a lot of, The Force Awakens sucks and ruined my Star Wars and all that. And even though I personally had issues with The Force Awakens, because I thought, okay, you've had 40 years to think of a new movie, and you had to do A New Hope again. And then with The Last Jedi, okay, you've had 40 years to do a new movie. You hear how everyone's kind of mad about how The Force Awakens is a lot like A New Hope. So The Last Jedi will definitely be way different from any Star Wars movie we've ever seen, and meanwhile it's exactly like The Empire Strikes Back, right down to the throne room scenes and all that. So I don't see... The only thing that made The Last Jedi different from other Star Wars movies was not the plot, or what little plot there was the fact that the whole movie felt like the long-term old fogey fans like me were being trolled. We're not expected to be excited about seeing Luke Skywalker. We're not expected to be excited about seeing Luke Skywalker battle someone who isn't his nephew. Why isn't there a new Dark Lord? Why couldn't he fight Snoke? Why didn't, are there other Snokes? And, the galaxy's huge. Why do we have to keep rehashing the same old crap? Why? We definitely could have had a powerful new story with Leia, Luke, and Han Solo in The Force Awakens. It could have gone in a completely new direction with nothing to do with anything we've seen before, and see planets we haven't seen before, kingdoms we haven't seen before, plots we haven't seen before. But when they decided to retread A New Hope, and I understand a bit why they did that, because they're trying to bring in new fans. You could have brought in new fans with a totally new plot, for sure. But then now that's crippled what's happened in The Last Jedi, because there's only, we've already established now there are these new young kids, like Rey and Kylo and stuff. So they have to deal with those, and then, you know what I mean? So now we're kind of trapped with the third chapter of this new trilogy, that it's going to be the same old yet again. And because this is the pattern they've decided to go with. And they didn't have to. There's no reason for it. There's a million ways to tell a story. You have all these fantastic characters, and it would have been nice to see something new and fresh. I thought Kylo Ren was going to be new and fresh, and in The Force Awakens he was actually pretty... I found him scary, only because I know psychopaths are scary, not because he was like a Dark Lord with powers, but they're unpredictable, these psychopaths, so you never know when they're going to turn on you, right? It's like, a wild animal or something. So to me, that's scary. It's like, as someone else was saying on YouTube, when you first see Darth Vader, he's killing everyone, and it establishes he's a bad guy. And when we first met Kylo Ren, he was bad. He killed the guy who's, had the map to Skywalker. He stops the bullet and all this stuff, in The Force Awakens. But then now, 9 hours later, now he's all pining for Rey, and anyways. Okay, so I have hope maybe for the next Last Jedi, and I may or may not continue to listen to rumors, because I don't want number 9 to be spoiled for me. But yeah, but I was very suspicious about the casta of Maya, because I do think that's a Carrie Fisher role that they're trying to do. And hey, pick me! I can be Carrie Fisher. Anyways, have a fantastic day, and may the force be with you.